Alright, so the first thing you want to look for is we're going to start off with the 2019 quarters. Now, I've actually done videos on these quarters, but we're going to look at a couple quarters that sold here. Now, this is a roll of 40 quarters that sold on eBay. So they're only $10 worth of quarters. This is only $10 worth of quarters, but what makes these special is that they are the 2019 Lowell W Mint Mark West Point minted quarters. So they didn't produce a lot of these quarters in 2019 with the W Mint Mark. So we can see here on this image, the W Mint Mark is going to be on the front of the coin under the phrase "In God We Trust." For anyone that's new to these videos. Now, these 40 quarters sold on eBay as is for over $380. So if you go to the bank and get a box of quarters is like $500. The chances of finding a full roll of 2019 quarters are not great, but hey, it's still possible. And if you do find them, you can definitely resell those online. Now, in 2019, that is not just the only quarter that they made. Here is the American Memorial Park quarter. Now, these, I'm going to show you the different 2019 quarters with the W Mint Mark that you want to look for. There's the first one. We also got the River of No Return quarter. We got the Lowell quarter, like we just mentioned. We got the San Antonio Missions quarter, and also we have the War in the Pacific quarter. So 5 different reverses for the 2019 with the W Mint Mark. Always be on the lookout for those in your pocket change, because $380, that's like $9.50 per quarter that they got for selling that roll. That's pretty impressive for just 25 cents, turning it into $9.50. That's pretty good. So yeah, so always look out for those. Here's an example of a 2019 W San Antonio Missions quarter. Now, this is graded at a very high grade, a Mint State 68 grade, so you know that's gonna help its value as well. And this has got an early find here on the coin slab. Now, PCGS, I talked about this in my other 2019 quarter videos. They were doing the quarter quest on their website, so anyone that sent these quarters in within the first 45 days of the release, they would put the early find designation on the coin slab like you see here. Now, that is not going to happen anymore for those quarters because all of the time is expired on the releases of those 2019 quarters. So people, you know, probably want these for their collection. Now, this quarter sold for over $1,000. So a pretty hefty profit there for just searching through coins from the bank this year and finding a 2019 W quarter. Now, if we go to the state quarters, here's a really interesting quarter. I love this coin, 2002 Philadelphia minted Tennessee state quarter. Now, you can see that the coin has been double struck, and we see that in the image displayed. You see the reverse design here on the obverse of the coin, and then we go to the reverse and you see the obverse design with Washington's head there and the phrase "In God We Trust," and that whole front design there on the reverse of the coin. So that is a really awesome error. I would love to find something like this in pocket change or even from the bank. This quarter sold for over $1,400, so always be on the lookout for interesting types of errors like that. Now, some of these quarters I have mentioned in the past, but I look back on those videos and man, they are just really bad and rough. It's hard for me to even watch those videos. So we're definitely going to look at some other state quarters here. This next quarter is not a state quarter, but it is the 2009 District of Columbia quarter, and you can see here on the coin slab that it says double die reverse. So that means that there's doubling on the back of the quarter. Here's an example of what you want to look for. I've spoke about this before. Look for the ELL and the piano keys there doubled on the reverse of this quarter. So you can do that with a USB coin microscope. I have those available on couchcollectibles.com. I always put the link in the description of every single video. Just scroll to the bottom of this video and look to the bottom right. You'll see a gray arrow. You press that and then you can read the description with the links. Now, this quarter here sold for over $3,000 because of that doubling and because of its grade. Now, something that you want to look for on your homestead quarters. Now, this is going to be the 2015 Philadelphia minted homestead quarter, and you know, there's a couple things to look for. First is doubling. So you can see a double die reverse here. You got this doubled in the window, and we got another example of that doubling in the window as well. Always be on the lookout for that. This isn't super valuable. The coin is graded by NGC, but the coin only sold for like $10 on eBay. so it definitely costs more to get that coin graded than it's sold for, so not really worth it unless you actually want that coin in a coin slab for your collection. But I would definitely always hold on to those, definitely always hold on to those double die reverses. And then also for that same quarter, you can look for the Leaky Bucket. This is an example of that. There's a couple different examples I've discussed in other videos. Now here's a quarter that just has that Leaky Bucket. If you zoom in there, you can really see it here. I have one of these myself. Coin Collecting Hobby sent me one back when I first started the channel. This quarter sold on eBay as is for $5, so nothing too valuable there, but it's a $5 quarter. That's all I could say. Not really you know, a valuable quarter to look for, but something to always hang on to. Now in 2008, here is the Philadelphia minted Arizona state quarter that was struck on a defective planchet, and we can see that there in the image display. It's got like a little goldish tone to it, and the planchet is defective. I mean, pretty much error speaks for itself. This quarter sold for a little over $50, so again, not thousands of dollars, but let's move on to some more valuable coins. Now this 2007 quarter, this is the Idaho state quarter, and this quarter sold for over $900, and it's because the quarter has been double struck, and that double strike is 40% off center. So pretty simple and self-explanatory. You can see it in the image displayed. Don't need a coin microscope for that. Let's move on to the Minnesota state quarter. Now this one is really cool. I don't really talk too much about this all the time. I think I've definitely discussed it in the past. This is a 2005 Minnesota state quarter that has that double die reverse. So you see on the coin slab DDR, that means that double die reverse, and that is going to take place typically here on the trees. So you see this image from Wexler's, definitely a great website to check out, doubledie.com. He has all kinds of different listings, so definitely check him out. Awesome website. You can see that the trees here are doubled, so always be on the lookout for that with your coin microscopes. And this quarter here did sell for over $650 because of that doubling, and of course always because of the grade of the coin. That is always got a factor when determining the coin's ultimate value. Now for the 2005 California state quarter, you can see that it looks copper, and that's because it's missing the clad layer on top. Now we see the clad layer here on the reverse, but it is missing here on the front of the coin, and that's going to give the coin a little bit of value, a lot of value really, if you turn 25 cents into over $1,300. That's what this coin sold for, $1,300. Now, for the Wisconsin state quarter, we're definitely going to check this out and kind of explain it, just so everyone's got a good idea of this. I know I've explained it in another video, but it's, like I said, those videos were rough. I don't know if I could watch them. Now, 2004, this is just a die adjustment strike taking place on that quarter. So, you know, it's not, you know, going to make it super valuable, but it's still sold for over $200. Now, let's look at this Wisconsin quarter. Now, first off, there's three different types. Typically the one that you're going to find is the common one that's only really worth a quarter, unless it's a high grade or something, is going to be this one where it has no extra leaf. And then here on the left we got the extra low leaf, and then here on the right we have the extra high leaf. So if you have that extra leaf, whether it be low or high, you definitely probably want to get it graded. First off, here's the 2004. This has the extra high leaf, and we can see that there in the image displayed. This quarter here sold for over $2,200, $2,200 for that state quarter. Of course, the value is going to be determined on the grade again as well. So it's got a high grade, mint state 67. But if we look at the 2004, same exact grade here, we got the low leaf, and this quarter also sold for over $2,200. So low leaf, high leaf, always look for those. Such a simple type of coin to look for, because you can literally find state quarters all day long from the bank, and you just look for the extra leaf, the low leaf, or the high leaf. And if you have one, you definitely can resell that. Now this is pretty cool here. This has all three of the quarters. So the no extra leaf, and then we got the extra high and low leaf together. Those all together sold for over $1,500, and they are all graded at mint state 67. So that's a really cool collection there. Now let's move on to the 2004 Texas state quarter. Now this was struck on an elliptical planchet. So you can see that there, that the it's not all the way around. The whole design does not fit on the planchet there. And this quarter sold for over $60. So nothing too valuable, but hey, I'll take a $60 quarter any day of the week. For the Rhode Island state quarter, now this, when the coin was being produced, was actually struck through, something was struck through the coin when the coin was being produced. Like I said, you can see the textured there on the obverse of the coin as a result of that strike through taking place, and this quarter sold for nearly $60 as well. Now for a very interesting type of error, I really don't know how something like this happens in the mint. I don't know if it's done on purpose by a mint employee. They will probably never admit it if they did, of course, because that would probably be illegal, I would imagine. This is a 2006 North Dakota state quarter that was struck on a steel washer. Washer or washer? Let me know. I'll say washer in this video. I guess it depends on where you're at in the country, in the United States at least. Now you can see that there's a hole in the middle because it was struck on a washer, and this coin, if you would like to call it that, sold for over $8,600. So that is a lot of money there for that mint error coin there. Now, for the 1999 Georgia state quarter, you can see that it has a reverse capped die. Very noticeable type of error. Again, finding something like this, definitely going to be difficult, but hey, you never know what you could find unless you go to the bank and get a box of coins to search through. Now, this coin sold for over $1,600. $1,600, baby. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe in the middle. Check out the videos to the left of me. Seriously, check them out. And until tomorrow, I will see you all in the comment section below. This is Couch Collectibles, and this is where I disappear.